So we're live already, so it kind of pulled it up. That's why we go a little bit early.
This us?
That's good. So we'll update this here. Didn't have the best picture, did I? No. All right, so there we go. So this will be perfect. So
I look concerned.
yeah, works pretty well. So. All right, good. Gracie's here. All right. Hello, everyone. You're going to be popular tonight, girl. We don't get this many people logging in this quickly. All right, so we got some of you are logging in already, which is great to see. So once you get here, make sure and let us know you're here. Like a bunch of you are jumping in already. So Abby's here, Claire and JD are here, Lake's here. So Lizzie must be popular tonight because we don't normally get this many people logging in this early. So make sure when you get here, let us know that you're in, and we're going to get going here in just a few minutes. It's cold out there. You know what?
In a simulator.
It's good, yeah. How's everybody doing? Good. Is anybody had a chance to do any golf? Did you probably shovel all morning? Huh?
Oh, my neighbor was shoveling. We did shovel yesterday, which was really nice. Yeah.
Yeah, we got home yesterday afternoon. We were out of town for a little bit, and the plow had not gone by, so. And then, of course, it went by in the middle of the night, and that was all frozen this morning.
Yeah. We're lucky we live on a snow emergency, so they plow that first.
Nice.
Yeah.
How many of you out there have been out shoveling? Any of you kids been out shoveling, or your parents? Hopefully you're making your kids get out and shovel a little bit, right? Earn their keep. All right. So make sure when you get here, if you haven't already, make sure you let us know that you're here. So type in your name in there, just giving us an update. We got quite a few of you here already. Oh, Caden is here too. That's good. Gracie, oh good. They're having a meet tomorrow in a simulator. Gracie, is that true, or are you just teasing me? That sounds fun. I don't know if I've ever seen that happen before. I'd be curious to know if that's actually happening or not.
Yeah, how does that work?
I don't know. Yeah, I've never really. I don't know how they do that. Adam is here. Hello, Adam. Yeah, I don't know. I'll be curious if Grace. No, I'm serious. Oh my! And the newspaper is coming. That is exciting. Hey, Will, how you doing, buddy? All right, good. And Adam and Dad is here too. We're going to get a lot of parents tonight because we're talking about nutrition.
Nice. So lots of questions, hopefully.
Yes, this one that Lizzie and I are going to do here is as much for the kids, but I think the parents are fired up about this one, so that's going to be good. So Gracie, they are actually having a tournament on simulator. That's kind of cool.
That's crazy.
I know. I mean, that's where we're at right now. We've got so much snow on the ground that we're not able to get out and golf a little bit. So hopefully, I don't know when it's supposed to warm up though. More snow Wednesday.
They said Wednesday. Somebody put up a picture that said 8 inches.
Oh.
I don't know if that's true. That was Minnesota, but we're close enough that I feel like we'll still get it.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's good. Adam, did you have to get out and shovel? Hopefully, did you help your dad out shoveling, or did you make your dad do it all? I don't know. And we'll have a little bit of delay on our Wi-Fi too. So, Amber's here. Good. All right. All right, good. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get started here. We've got a few of you here logging in already, but it is 7:30, so we want to get started. We would like to keep these on time and kind of get everybody in and out of here. So tonight is kind of a fun night. because we get Lizzie here, so we're super excited. So thank you, first of all, Lizzie, for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it'll be fun. We're going to talk about we're going to do some recap on some of the stuff that's been happening and give you some updates on the summer. And then Lizzie and I are going to talk about nutrition. So before I kind of dive into my stuff, Lizzie, maybe you should tell everybody, some of them you've met, but maybe give them an idea of kind of where you work and kind of your background and some stuff like that, what might be talking about tonight.
Yeah, so I work for the Stanford Sports Science Institute. I'm sure a couple of you have probably met me before. We've done a couple of nutrition talks, just maybe smaller talks, and maybe some of the parents have come to those too. But up at the Sports Science Institute, we do work quite a bit with the golfers, especially in the last year and a half. And I've admitted to every student that, even 2 years ago, I've almost worked here 2.5 years. I don't think I knew what nutrition for golf is. I mean, even when you talk about sports nutrition, you hear about, football and marathons and that kind of stuff, but it's been really fun to work with some of our pros that have come through, and then even the kids, they are almost teaching me more about just the game of golf and really what their schedule looks like, what a day looks like when they're competing and that kind of thing. So it's been really fun. Yeah, because it's I mean, everybody here knows, Matt's here. Matt, good to see you. Like I said, when you get here, make sure and let us know you're here by just logging in, because we're going to ask some questions later and give away some prizes, I think. So, but going back to what Lizzie was saying, each sport is a little bit different. Yeah. And this is why I'm excited about this. I got a whole stuff of questions here. But what might be good for performance for a golfer could be totally different for a football player or something like that. For sure. And something that I emphasize all the time is that golf is that focus sport. Yeah. And so it's not that we're out there necessarily sprinting from hole to hole, even though somebody told me that is a sport, where you run from hole to hole.
Oh, yeah.
What is it called? Do you know?
It's called I don't know if they call it speed golf or
I don't know.
Something like that. If you've heard of that before, let us know what, but I think I've seen something like if you play there's a competition you get based on your score that you shoot it and maybe how much time it is.
Yeah, I don't know. But somebody was telling me, because I was giving the example that you don't necessarily sprint, and they're like, wait, you could, so it's not necessarily that we're out there just, sprinting, like we said, we're not expending energy that way, but we do need to make sure that we are energized, that we have that energy on board, that we're not getting tired, fatigued, hungry, those things that, your brain is working the entire time. So that's really the biggest part of it. Yeah, especially with the focus part of it and all those things we're going to dive into. So, hey, if you can, all right, good. Cameron is here. Good to see you, buddy. So for those of you who are here, if just please let us know if you can hear us very well or if we need to do something there. Hopefully you can hear us well. There's a little bit of a delay for Lizzie and I with our, I think we got a mouse running around on the wheel back there for our internet service. It's like dial up. So it's a little slow, but let us know if you can hear us hopefully out there. So a couple things I want to get into here, just as some kind of housekeeping stuff before we dive into the things that Lizzie's going to be talking about. So the summer session, I think everybody who's probably watching this is going to be signed up for the summer session. That will start the week of May 7th. And we're going to be getting out a full schedule here shortly. So keep an eye on your email. We're going to be emailing out the available times for the summer. That will be coming out sometime this week. So make sure you keep your eye open for that because we want to get those back in quickly, get them turned around and get them back to you so we get everybody to their specific times and get you up and rolling. So that's number one. Just a couple things on the summer schedule to work very similar to what we did last year. We will also be doing play days again. Those will be on Fridays. We'll be doing our pods, our practice times. Those will be at a variety of times during the week. And we're making a conscious effort this year to make sure that the pods and your lesson time are hopefully on the same day so we can cut down on some travel. Those are some great feedback we had from you out there as our parents, so we will be doing that. So keep an eye open for those types of things. I'm going to also be sending out a separate email that'll have a link in it to sign up for our newsletter. Sam is built a new template for the newsletter through Constant Contact. I think it's going to be great. We have some good stuff in there from us. Lizzie's actually given us some stuff at times to put in there. And so you'll be seeing that link. And so if you want to just click on that, it'll ask for some information so you can be registered or put on the email list for that. That will be coming out. For those of you who came to our party we had a couple weeks ago over at Osted's for the tour experience fitting, that was awesome. Hopefully you made that. And if you did, you had a great time. We gave away some prizes for the Masters pool.
Courtney Frank, I think, won first. Henry Rasmussen was second, and Macy Bartles was third in that. That was kind of a fun deal that we did. And so we have your prizes here at the Bay. So when you come for your session this week, make sure you ask for those. We have all those here. And then on the tour, because you're a member or because you're part of our family here at the Golf Academy, Austin's has been nice enough to extend to you a free tour fitting, and that's a $100 value. So it's a really nice deal. So if you're interested or you're in the market for some new clubs, you can do that. Before we're done here today, I'll put the contact's name in there. His name is Matt Kettler, and I'll put his phone number in there so you know how to get a hold of him and call. So we've got a couple other people logging in. Cameron's here, good. Eli's here, good to see you. So like I said, when you get here, make sure you log, let us know that you're here. Let's see here. One last thing, and then we're going to start talking about the main reason we're here tonight, and that is nutrition. We're going to have the whole summer staff back again. Tyler will be back, which is awesome, obviously. Sam will be back. Parker will be here. Parker is going to be graduating from Augie this year. We're super excited. He's going to be around more. We're really looking forward to having him around. And of course, everybody loves Sammy. Sammy will be back from Nebraska, Omaha this summer and be helping us out as there. And we're going to be adding a couple new people. Trey, everybody will get to meet Trey. He teaches PE here in town. Is going to be doing some stuff for us too. So we've got our whole staff coming back, so we're really excited about that. So, got any questions on any of that? Let me know or email me. That's enough of me. They want to listen to you. They want to hear some stuff from you. So, let's talk about nutrition. So, I'm going to just open it up with this, and I'm going to kind of let you kind of talk about some stuff. And I got questions, and hopefully, especially my moms out there and my parents, I know kids are they don't want to talk about nutrition sometimes, but if you've got questions, make sure you type them in there because we want to make sure we get them answered. But Lizzie, the first thing I want to start with is, what do you think is like the I don't want to say the biggest mistake that golfers make when they hit the golf course in terms of the nutrition, or maybe a misconception, or what would be the first thing you would tell them, like, hey, this is where I would start?
Yeah. I would say that one of the biggest things that I've seen, either in the kids or all the way up to, like we said, the pros, is not bringing enough food with them on the course or relying on some of the food that's already out there. Really just not having that routine down. They're not necessarily have a plan in place where they're going, okay, I got these 4 or 5 snacks. I know that I'm going to eat these every 2 to 3 holes and that kind of thing. And then they end up either waiting too long, so they kind of wait until they run out of gas or until their stomach is grumbling, or maybe they notice that they're not playing so well and those kind of things, and they, I'm just going to grab that Snickers, or I'm just going to grab whatever I can get, right?
Yeah.
So that's probably one of our bigger mistakes that we do see.
Just not planning out their day. Like, what is it that I'm going to be doing? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So now I know there's a couple things you want to talk about. So let me give the floor to you a little bit. What are some things you want to tell some of our parents and our kids here?
Yeah. So like we talked about, one of the biggest things that we see is just not planning ahead, and that's something that a kid can do right now, right? I mean, even when we're not out on the course or we have to play in a simulator or whatever, we can.
Yes. Even for a simulator, you want to be hydrated and have something in your stomach.
We do want to think about just having a good nutrition plan all year round, and for me, that means not necessarily relying on, like I said, relying on what our food is going to be out and about.
Yeah.
You're kind of bringing some options with you. So you're packing snacks in your bag. You have your reusable water bottle that you're filling up, and okay, I drink 3 or 4 of these every single day. And so really, I've laid out like a worksheet, and kids should come get this from me from Power. It's probably not rocket science, but I wrote it down for my college players. Yeah. But it's just like, what would I eat for breakfast before I go out on the course? Okay. And I want them to lay out like a carb, protein, healthy fat, and then what would I hydrate with? So it just helps me think about that so that I not only go, okay, every single time that I play, I have these 2 or 3 options that I know are gonna stick well with me, and I've kind of practiced them. But also, when you're kind of in a rush for time, you're not kind of thinking about, I'm just gonna run out the door and grab a banana, right? Yes, you know that you should probably have these 3 or 4 things on your plate that is gonna be a little bit more calories. It's going to hold you over for longer, and it's going to stick to your ribs, so you're not going to be stomach grumbling at hole 2, right?
Okay, so for our moms out there, because if it's like my house, mom's cooking breakfast, dad's usually running around doing whatever. So what would be out of those categories there? What would be an example?
Yeah.
So,
So I even wrote down my example. So I always want a meal to have several different food groups. So we think a lot about like, I'm running out the door and I'm just having a piece of toast, right? And maybe it has a little bit of butter on it. But we could throw some eggs with that, right? And that would be my protein. Or Greek yogurt, that would be my protein. I could even add a piece of fruit, right? Some banana with peanut butter. So it's just that more well-rounded meal, and we're thinking about that versus I'm just gonna grab a granola bar, which is kind of that typical, I'm gonna grab a granola bar, it's like 100 calories. It's really not enough to kind of last us throughout the course of the game.
okay, so, all right, because that's good to know, because I think a lot of people, and like we said earlier, if you have any questions, be sure to type those in there. And like maybe where are some examples that maybe you are eating before the round or during the round, and then Lizzie can give you some feedback whether or not we think that's a good idea. But yeah, I mean, I think even for myself, I think I'd probably just grab like a bar.
Yeah. And it depends on the bar. I mean, some of the bars out there are higher up in the calories. They have a little bit of protein to help hold you over. They have some healthy fats in them. But some of those just like, I'm thinking like my Nutri-Grain bar. It's like the jelly in the middle. Yeah. It's like 100 calories and it's mostly carbs. So really the protein and the fats, so we're thinking like any meat or dairy, and then fats, I'm thinking like nuts or avocados, that kind of thing. That's help holding us over for a little bit longer. So the carbs those are really good for maybe that hour before. So you'd really only have an hour. Yeah. Maybe that would be okay. But really, if it's any longer than that, like we're waking up, we probably should have something a little bit bigger.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about hydration. Yeah. Because I think, this golf is a sport we play outside. Usually it's warm, not right now, but typically it's warm. So, I mean, is there like a general rule of thumb? How much water somebody should drink? Let's just use a typical junior golfer who weighs 150 pounds for the discussion. I mean, you definitely can find recommendations out there, and even every recommendation that I'll read, it'll say, but this varies so widely, right? Yeah. So something that I do recommend is, and we talk about this, and people don't like to talk about it, but it's just start your practice or start a competition well hydrated. And you know when you're well hydrated when your urine is light lemonade, right? And so that's how you know, hey, I am drinking enough water. If you're going into that dehydrated, especially if it's early in the morning, right? So the day before maybe we didn't hydrate enough, and then even that morning of we maybe hadn't had enough water. So even like the preceding evening or something, that can have, I suppose, some last-over effect. Yeah, so definitely if you don't hydrate enough the night before, that could definitely play into what you're doing the next day. So just you're just not going to be able to make up for that. Yeah. So starting ahead of the game, you're starting out pretty well hydrated the morning of, if it's a morning competition, that kind of thing. But really just general good hydration throughout the day. You know if you're hydrated, you feel good, you filled up your water bottle a couple times during the day, and that's probably the best bet. Other things that you can kind of do are weighing yourself before and after. So if you're out on the course, you weigh yourself before and after. If you're out there for 2 hours, you know, hey, I lost 4 pounds in 2 hours. And the recommendation for that is to replenish with 16 to 20 ounces of water for every pound lost. Okay. So that's, over 2 cups, right, for every pound. Okay, and so what would be, that's good advice. I mean, what would be some things that we might notice would be lack of concentration or like a headache? I mean, what would be some signs of being dehydrated other than that one that you mentioned? Yeah, I think that the biggest one is probably like the headache, like you said. That's one that people come to me and say like, oh, I've had a headache. Is it food allergy or this, that, or the other? And the first thing that I ask is, hey, how well are you hydrated? Because that can really play a role in that, right? Yeah. Other things would be like fatigue or like you said, lack of concentration. Those are definitely things that that can come into play if we're even a little bit dehydrated. Yeah. So people sometimes think of dehydration like, I'm so dehydrated I had to go to the hospital, that kind of thing. Yeah. But really even mild dehydration can decrease that focus, decrease that concentration, and make it so that we're not able to, have that focus that we need when we're out there. Well, especially as we all know that, typical round of golf, I mean, by the time you warm up and you go play 18 holes, I mean, it's easily 5 hours, easily. And if you're playing a lot of junior tournaments, as your parents will know, I mean, it could literally be 6 hours. Mm-hmm. And so, you're out there for a long time. Mm-hmm. You definitely are. And that's something that I don't think that we necessarily are thinking about. I agree, yeah. And like I said, that's something where you get in a routine. Like, unless, like if you've had that same little,
I'm trying to think of just like a little plastic water bottle. It's
Yeah.
probably 16 ounces.
Yeah.
If that whole thing lasts you the whole round, that's probably too little, right? Especially if you're out there for several hours.
Yeah.
We do need to be thinking about, okay, I take several gulps, not just a little sip.
Yeah.
Whenever we get the chance.
Well, and I do know that for the tour professionals that I work with, and that you've met most of them. They're pretty religious with what they do. Like on every third hole, and maybe that might be a good idea for those of us watching. You just get in the habit of, okay, on the third hole I do this, and on the sixth hole I do that. I don't know if that would be a strategy.
Yeah, and I like that, especially with like a game of mental toughness and focus. Having those little routines, I think, can help you. I think that's a mental thing, like having those little routines. And I mean, even as a runner, like I'm a little bit superstitious, like I gotta have this at this mile.
Yes.
You feel good about that choice, and it just gives you a little bit of confidence.
Yeah, that's fantastic. We got one question already. So as I mentioned, please, if you got some questions, be sure to fire them out, because that's what we're here to do today, is answer those questions. So we had one, what should we do if you get waterlogged?
Like drinking too much water?
Yeah, maybe I'm thinking that's probably what Eli, I think if you drink, could you drink too much water? You could be like, is that, I suppose it's possible.
Yeah, you can definitely drink too much water. And that's something that we do see with a lot of people that are so hyper-focused on their hydration. It's definitely a healthy habit to have, but I've seen, small kids with a whole gallon of water, and that's probably too much.
Okay.
We're probably not losing quite a gallon of water, especially right now when it's cooler weather. I'm thinking like if it's a summer day and you're out there practicing all day, you can't get off the course, then you might lose that much. But that seems like a lot. So really paying attention to, you want your like we talked about, urine color is the best way to kind of tell, cheapest way. We don't want it to necessarily be clear. We shouldn't have to go to the bathroom every 15 minutes, right? And that's a big thing, is like, even, I remember being in high school and before cross country meet, you're so focused on, hey, I gotta stay hydrated. And I was getting up every class period. Can I use the restroom? And that becomes a distraction, and I'm just probably over-hydrating by that point, which isn't good.
Part of it is, I'm sure, just kind of finding each individual is a little bit different.
Yeah.
Okay, so what about, so let's say, parents, let's think about this. So you're out watching your son or your daughter play golf. They're out there for 5 or 6 hours. They have an opportunity to maybe eat at the turn. We'll talk about that in a second. But from the time they tee off until even that point where they make the turn, or 9 holes, it's going to be at least 2 hours or more. What would be some things that they could put in their golf bag to eat during that couple span there?
Yeah. That's kind of where it's up to the individual athlete, and some good recommendations that I've heard and that people seem to like are things that don't go and melt, right? Or that don't go bad. So like a bar that has chocolate on it, probably not the best bet. And then even like bananas. Like I like a banana. I think that's a good recommendation. But
would it be good though?
It would be good, but sometimes kids have said like, well, I don't want it to get like smashed, or unless you have like a separate bag, or that nobody's gonna like slam it into something. Then, like an apple would be maybe a better choice. So any of like the hard fruits, like an apple, right, or peanut butter and jellies are my go-to recommendation, because I think they're really easy. You can slap together like 2 or 3 of those even for your friends, right?
Nice,
but even any of the bars are going to be a good option. So they're usually, you can either break off part of it if it's a little bit of a bigger bar and eat half of it at this hole, and then 3 holes later eat the other half, that kind of thing. Even like trail mix and pretzels, especially when it does get hot out, it has a little bit more salt in it, and so it might help you stay a little bit more hydrated and encourage you to drink water from that salt. So those kinds of foods too are pretty good.
So do you think that if it's like a hot summer day, 90 degrees or whatever, should they be having something that has some salt on it? Would that be a recommendation, or?
Yeah, for sure. And any of those sports drinks are going to have carbohydrates in them, so that can kind of help you keep your energy levels up as well. I know a lot of the athletes that we've worked with have liked to maybe water it down even. Or switch it off. Like this hole I'll be sipping on Gatorade, and when that's over, I'll start sipping on water, and then when that's done, I'll sip on a little bit more Gatorade. That kind of thing.
Is there any drawbacks? Because I see, I'd be curious to what are you guys drinking when you're out there? Type it in the chat there or whatever. Like, what are you drinking in terms of like when you're out on the golf course? I'd be kind of curious to hear what everybody has to say. could they drink too much? I mean, is there something in the Gatorade if they drank it all, or is there's a lot of sugar or no?
There is. It says sugar from carbohydrates. So it's carbohydrates from pure sugar, right?
Okay.
So that is good when you're out there and you're losing a lot of the sodium and stuff that's in the Gatorade. That's really what we're trying to replenish. But the carbohydrates are good for just keeping your energy levels up. So if you're out there for a couple hours, it's helping keep your energy levels up. If you're having like a carbohydrate-rich snack, you don't necessarily need the Gatorade as well.
Okay.
So you could always do like a G2 or like a Powerade Zero, something that maybe didn't have all the sugar, if that's kind of something that you're trying to go for the real food option.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
We got some great stuff there. Okay, so, all right, Bennett, good. Water Powerade, good. I like that. Water, Gatorade, alternate. That's excellent, Gracie. I like that. Eli Powerade Zero, yep. Couple there, water, Gatorade. Okay, fantastic. Powerade and water, awesome. We've got a good question there. What foods or drinks should I avoid?
Anything that really...
That's a good question.
That is a really good question. I think any of those foods to avoid would be maybe some of like the more like fried or fast foods,
Yeah.
right? And I've heard that maybe that's sometimes can be plentiful depending on the turn and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so that's something where I say like, or even after the tournament, right? Or after a competition, there might be some foods that are, fried or that kind of thing. And that maybe is something that we want to avoid just for general health reasons, right?
Yeah.
Or if you're playing in a tournament and it's game one, you maybe don't necessarily want to eat a bunch of that fried food and then have to go out on the course the next day.
That's true. That's true, yeah. Okay. So, not a hot dog.
Yeah, I'd say a hot dog. Hot dog's good if you're watching a baseball game.
Yeah, okay.
Or if you're watching golf, maybe.
Or for the parents, hey, we're just watching, we can have a hot dog,
Yeah.
right? If we want to have a hot dog, no problem.
Yeah.
You mentioned the peanut butter and jelly. Now I know when I'm out on the road with the girls, on a side note, maybe she got it from you, but Kim makes peanut butter and jelly.
Really?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that's
every time. It's like a ritual. I mean, at the breakfast or whatever, and then they'll pack it in their bag. I see a lot of people, a lot of the pros will eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
For sure, because you can eat.
I thought maybe it's just like, well, maybe she just likes peanut butter and jelly, but
You
but
probably see a lot of it.
yeah,
right?
I do. Yeah, now you say that.
You can eat half of it, and then
Yeah.
it's still going to taste good. Like I think the smush factor, like even my college athletes, I tell them like 3 of those babies could be smushed between like $8, and it would still taste good.
That does,
right?
doesn't it?
Yeah.
That's good. Okay, now, I got a couple things here. So these are, I didn't, when Missy got here, I wanted to kind of have some surprises because I wanted to keep her on her toes a little bit.
I'm ready.
So these are things that I had in my bag that I use when I come to work. And so, how about this? This would be a good option?
Oh yeah, these are really good options, and
Okay.
especially right now. I keep thinking it's winter in my head. I'm like, winter is good for citrus. These taste really good right
They
now.
are good.
I feel like apples don't really taste that good right now.
Yeah.
In general, any fresh fruit is going to be a good snack throughout the day.
Okay.
Like a 1 cutie or 2. I mean, I throw like a couple of these in my
Yeah,
bag.
I do
And
too.
then usually I pair this with something else, like pair it with some nuts or a piece of cheese
Okay.
or something like that, just to give it a little bit of protein, healthy fats, kind of make it last longer.
I like that.
Yeah.
So for those of you who are out there, I want to hear what is it, what are you putting in your bag? And then we can get Lizzie to kind of comment on whether or not we think that's good. So what are some things that you're putting in your bag to eat? So here's, I have pumpkin seeds.
Yeah, those are good too.
Are those okay?
Yeah, I feel
Good?
like you just brought healthy options. Let me see what's really in them.
My family's going to be so proud.
Pumpkin seeds are really good.
Are they? Okay.
That's something that I just wrote on my whiteboard actually, was about almonds. But any of like the nuts are going to be a good option. Nuts and seeds, I guess pumpkin seeds are a seed. So a third of a cup of these is 12 grams of protein. That's quite a bit of protein for, just a little handful, right? So 12 grams of protein.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I would aim for in a snack, is that 10 to 20 grams of protein.
Okay, all right, good, good.
So yeah, a great snack, has some healthy fats, right? Has a lot of good nutrients in it. So
Yes.
something like this versus chips, right?
Yes.
This is gonna last a lot longer, so it's more satisfying.
stick with-
Yeah,
yes,
and
okay.
especially when they have like the seed and stuff, I feel like it takes a little bit longer to eat
True,
versus
that's true.
you can blow through a bag of chips in like 30
That's
seconds.
true. What about
Yeah.
sunflower seeds? I don't eat those when I play golf.
Yeah.
Hopefully you're not either, because the ground superintendent, they don't like that.
I was gonna ask about that, yeah.
That, I mean, it has salt, but.
Yeah, no, that's a good snack too. Any of the nuts, like I've had a lot of questions about peanuts. I feel like peanuts get dumped on sometimes.
Yeah.
I feel like peanuts are a good snack.
Okay.
Really, I tell people to vary it. So if you ate peanuts every day for the rest of your life, that probably wouldn't be healthy. Just like it wouldn't be healthy to eat the same kind of meat or the same breakfast, that kind of thing. We want a varied diet. So you eat these, and then the next bag you get is almonds. That's probably a good thing, right?
I got one other one. Then we got some great ones here I want to get to. I'm on this Cliff Bar kick right now.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I don't know why, but I was eating a lot of the profile bars. I really liked those.
Yeah.
Then we ran out. So what about this?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think a Cliff Bar is something that I recommend, especially for the kids, for like a pre-workout or like even like part of breakfast. These are a little bit higher, so like when we talked about like some of the bars being really low calorie, this one has like 250, this one has 260 calories, so it's a little bit higher in calories, a little bit higher in protein and fat and all of those things. So this is more like part of a meal, or maybe like a pre-workout, or if I was going out on the course, like I'd eat part of this at whole 4, and then the next one at whole 8, or something like that, where you'd maybe piece it up. But yeah, it's not a bad option for sure. There are better bars out there, but this is not the worst bar.
Do you have a specific one, or off the top of your head, or what should they look for?
Yeah, typically I try to look for ones that have less ingredients, right? So like I like the RX bars or the Lara bars, so they're mostly made with like dates and nuts and those kind of things. So it's more like a whole food bar. Even like the Kind bars, if people have seen those out there. I wouldn't recommend that, ones that have chocolate for putting in your bag or something like that. But if you're just going to school, those would make it pretty good snack.
Okay, good. All right, so we got okay, Bennett said beef jerky.
Yeah, beef jerky is a good snack too. So we talk about like higher protein snacks. So like I use beef jerky as a good example of like pairing that with a piece of fruit. So you're getting a lot of like antioxidants and fiber and sweetness from the fruit, but that apple probably won't hold you over from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. by the time you go home and eat dinner. But like if you're out on a course or something like that, then it's mostly protein, so we would want to pair it with some kind of carbohydrate. Okay,
that's and Ben, I love that because beef jerky, even if it's hot, is good. Okay, blueberry Cliff Bar. So we talked a little bit about Cliff Bar, so that's good. Fruit strips and sunflower nuts.
Yeah. So all those, like I would even pair those. Like if I had a fruit strip, like it probably is pretty low in calories and pretty low in protein and fats and all those things. But if I paired that with some nuts, I'd probably eat a pretty good snack.
Okay, that's good. Jerky, we got that. That's awesome. Trail mix or granola bar.
Yeah, same thing. Like trail mix is a pretty good one. I always say look for the trail mixes that maybe are mostly not M&Ms. So if you're going out and you're trying to pick the trail mix that is mostly rainbow colored, we want to, and you can even make your own. Like I talk about just buying a bag of nuts, buying like a whole grain cereal like the oatmeal squares, and then putting like raisins, and you can put a bag of M&Ms in there. But there's less M&Ms per handful, right?
We'll just have JD and Claire. You can have your mom, Lori, just send the M&Ms to here.
Yeah, you pick them out and you give them a ton.
And then myself and Tyler and Sam, we will eat those. Trail mix, good. We got, here's a good one. Yeah, absolutely. Crackers with peanut butter or goldfish.
Yeah.
Because those would not melt. What do you think about that?
For sure. I think especially if you're out there on the course, crackers with peanut butter, it's that carb, which is the cracker, and then you get a little bit of healthy fats with the peanut butter. So that would make a good snack. Same thing with the goldfish out there on the course. That's kind of like a pretzel. It's a salty cracker, so that's a really good snack.
That's good. All right, and then we've got another one from Adam. They're good. Fruit roll-ups.
I would say that, like, as far as like a fruit roll-up would go, I would try to pick like the more natural ones. Like they have ones that are like 100% fruit versus God, I can't even think. I'm thinking like the fruit roll-ups when I was a kid that was like long and blue and it had like a tongue tattoo that you could put on, and like maybe not those. But there are some ones that are really good that are 100% fruit. That's just literally fruit pressed, and those are really good. Yeah,
I like that. Okay. What other stuff should we tell them? We got about 3 or 4 minutes left, and then we're going to finish up with a couple questions. So hopefully you've been paying attention, and hopefully your internet speed is up, because that seems to be who gets the answers in first with their internet speed. So anything else we want to make sure that they would know?
Yeah, so I know that some of the kids on here have probably heard about, we just like to talk about that post-workout recovery.
Yes,
And this is something that we talk about even with the pros, like what do we do right after a round, or what do we do after a workout, right? So we've really had a hard workout, what do we do now? And so a lot of people don't necessarily know. So if we're going straight from like a practice, and then we're going home and we're going to be eating dinner, we're going to have all the different components of a healthy meal that we would want. We're going to have that protein that's always emphasized. You need protein after a workout, you need protein after exercise. And then we're probably gonna have some kind of carbs. So like most of the kids I talk to, they're like, my mom makes, some kind of meat, some kind of potato or rice or pasta and some kind of vegetable. So we're getting all those nutrients. But what about if it's not necessarily right, a meal is gonna be right away, right? So if we're not gonna be eating that real meal within an hour or two, I would recommend having some kind of snack that has some kind of protein and some kind of carbohydrate. So chocolate milk gets touted all the time as being, good for post-workout, especially like post-power, we do want to get something in. But it could be really anything, so like Greek yogurt with berries. Or like we talked about, peanut butter sandwich. Something like that, where we're getting in some kind of snack right away after we work out.
That's good.
Yeah.
We had another good question there from Eli and Kelly. What about salt maybe makes you dehydrated? That's a good question.
Yeah,
because I've heard that same thing.
Yeah, it is a good question. When we eat a little bit of salt, it can actually help our body hold on to water.
Oh, interesting.
And actually encourage us to drink more water, right?
Okay.
So like a Gatorade or like some of those drinks, they might actually taste salty to you if we're not necessarily exercising. So like if I drink a Gatorade right now, it might taste a little bit salty, but when I'm losing a lot of salt, we're just replenishing whatever is being lost.
That's a good question. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
If anybody else has got any more questions, feel free to throw them out there. Anything else? Got a minute or two left. Anything else you want to add, or we can get into a couple questions for them? Or?
Yeah. Maybe if we have any more questions, I always think of lots of things.
Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to think of it. So we've covered some. So there's some good information in terms of like what to maybe. I love our conversation about being hydrated. I think that's a big one, and I know for our parents out there. Reminding the kids to drink or have a water bottle or something with them. Not every course, unfortunately, has their water coolers full all the time. And then some stuff to eat before they round, during the round. I really like this idea. I think I love what Lizzie said earlier about planning it out. I think that's the key for me, anyhow. If I'm like, hey, this is what I'm going to eat on the golf course, and I have it in my bag. Yeah. And then also get in the habit of like, I'm going to do it on the third hole or the sixth or whatever your routine is. Just like you work on a routine in your golf swing, I think it then just becomes a habit.
Exactly. And just like I tell any kid that they should probably have a couple snacks in their backpack. Like when we're going to school, if we're getting to the point that we are really hungry, we probably should have something to eat. Or if we're really thirsty, well, I have my reusable water bottle, I can always have a drink. Versus if you don't have either of those things, you don't have any snacks, you don't have your water bottle, you're kind of relying on everything around you to be able to say, okay, well, I'll wait till I get to the water fountain after class, or I'll wait till I get to the vending machine, it's not the healthiest options, or like you said, I'll wait to see what's after the round and wherever we go out to eat. But if I had some snacks, then I probably would end up eating less of those, maybe less than healthy foods, and eating more of those healthy foods that I had with me.
Yeah, because my guess is that if you don't have something, and you make the turn and you go into any clubhouse anywhere, and you're going to have a variety of options, but 90% of them are probably not the best options.
Yeah, and that can be really hard too.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I'm really hungry now at this point, and should I have the hot dog? Or...
yeah. Okay, we got one other one, and then I'm going to ask, and then I'm going to have Lizzie ask one question based on some of the information she discussed. I'm going to ask one question, and we're going to give away 2 prizes this evening. But we got one more question. How about, Cameron asked, how about Cheez-Its? Because I do see a lot of the kids have Cheez-Its in their bag. What do you think there?
Cheez-Its, again, are just one of those like salty, carbohydrate-rich foods. So when we're out on the course, that could be a good food to eat at, hole 3, hole 6, that kind of thing. If we're putting it in our bag, like I said, I like to pair that with something that maybe had some more it's not stick-to-itiveness, but it's like stick to your ribs. So carbohydrate, I always say that those are kind of like those dry foods. Like I could eat a whole box of Cheez-Its and I'm probably just going to be just as satisfied as I was before I started eating the box of Cheez-Its.
I got it, yes.
Versus like if I paired that with a piece of fruit that has a little bit more water and some good fiber in it, I'm probably going to be a lot more satisfied after that snack.
Yeah, a little more full, that's good.
Yeah, so I'd pair that with some cheese or a piece of fruit or something like that.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're out of time now, but I'm going to ask one question. I'm going to give Lizzie a couple of minutes here to think about her question, and she's going to ask it, something that we've discussed. So get everybody ready. This is where the fun kind of begins. Hopefully you've been paying attention. My question, I think, is going to be pretty simple. But my question is, and so the first person to answer this, we'll come up with some prize. We'll give away a hat, or maybe we should give away a water bottle.
Oh, yeah, you should give away a water bottle. That's perfect.
That's what we're going to give away. We're going to give away a water bottle. We have these Camelback water bottles. They've been hugely popular.
Nice.
Like the kids love them. And we gave away one on the Masters Pool. But anyhow, so here's my question. In my backpack, I had 3 things, but one of them was a type of seed. What type of seed is it? That should be pretty easy. So we'll see who pops it up first. Usually whoever's got the quickest
best internet.
Yes.
Then we want to know who what internet provider is. Oh, there we go.
Sunflower and a pumpkin seed. There we go. Very good. Yes. Bennett, good job, my man. Oh, no, wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, see, now it's changing. Pumpkin seed. Hold up. Gracie, pumpkin seed.
I got Grace.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Gracie. My bad,
podcast.
Bennett. Sorry about that. My mistake. A little too early in the call. We've got Gracie with pumpkin seed. Very good, Gracie. Awesome. All right. Well said, I won. All right, so next question's coming up. Lizzie's going to ask a question, so be ready to go here, and whoever types in the answer first. So we've got one. Gracie won the first one. Second question.
All right. My question is, who can think of the first breakfast that you could eat out on the before you go on the course that has several different food groups? So the healthy breakfast that has several different food groups before you go out on the course.
All right.
Who has one? Who has the first one?
This is going to be good. They got to think about this one a little bit. This is going to be good.
All right, we got yogurt.
Greek yogurt and eggs.
All right, we got a couple. What are yogurt eggs? You guys love yogurt and eggs. Okay, we got to go with the first one here. Adam had pancakes with a banana and toast. That sounds pretty good, right?
That's our winner?
I think that's our winner.
All right, Adam, very nice. Very nice, my friend. So we've got Adam as a winner today and Gracie as a winner. So fantastic. Hey, this has been fun.
Yeah, it has been fun.
You've been a rock star.
Yeah.
We have people logged in, and usually when it's Sam and I, or Tyler and I, they start logging off. But they have stayed on tonight, so we've had some really good information. Any last words of wisdom you want to leave our group before we go ahead and wrap her up?
Yeah, if you guys have any questions, just feel free to stop by my office at the field house, or some of those groups I know for the power groups are pretty late. You guys can always either call out to the field house or leave a message or email me, and I'm always happy to answer any questions that you have. So even if it's like a personal, like, hey, I've been doing this, is there something I could be doing better, then I'm always willing to kind of answer those questions or help people out. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to do a couple quick recaps on Academy stuff, and while I do that, I'm going to have Lizzie put her email in the chat there so everybody has it, so my parents have it. But I do want to say, hey, this has been fantastic. We appreciate Lizzie coming over and spending time with us. And in all seriousness, this is important stuff. You're working your golf swing, you're practicing, but you got 2 or 3 holes to go, and you didn't eat the right thing, or you're dehydrated, and now you lose a tournament, and all this hard work kind of goes to waste. So I know my parents understand that, but for our kids and our players out there, this is an important thing. So thank you for coming over and sharing that. So I'm gonna have you, once you kind of jump in there, and you can type it in the chat right there. Yeah, there we go. Now, so real quick, for those of you, summer session starts May 7th. If you got logged on late, we're going to be emailing out information on that. I will also, the gentleman, if you want to do a fitting, we get free fittings at Osted's as part of the academy. Matt Kettler is his name. Number is 331-4653. Lizzie, would you mind typing that in? It's right there, Matt. Yeah. And then there's his number. Thank you. So Lizzie's going to type that in there. His name is Matt. And then his phone number. He's at Osted's. Contact him if you want to do a club fitting. And then keep an eye on email. We got a lot of information is going to be coming out here real quickly on the summer stuff. So you're going to see a lot of communication going on back and forth. So please keep an eye on that. Thanks again for logging in. And let's get some warm weather. Let's get rid of the snow. And let's get on the golf course. So we'll see you next time.